Federal investigators say a Nashville man arrested in Texas on child sexual exploitation charges could have victims in cities across the country, including here in Memphis. Action News 5's Garner Montgomery live in studio now with how parents can talk to their children about exploitation on the internet. Garner.
Dalton Bowman was arrested Monday and faces life in prison if convicted. Homeland Security asking parents who suspect their children may have been in contact with Bowman, either in person or social media, to come forward.
Federal investigators say this Nashville man, Dalton Bowman, arrested and charged with child sexual exploitation and production of child pornography, may have victims in Memphis and 16 other cities across the country, either by meeting in person or through his social handle, Snap with Dalton.
The reality of the internet is that it creates this mechanism, this platform for predators to have access to our kids, our community members every single day in what seems like a benign platform.
The Department of Justice is asking parents who suspect their child may have been a victim of Bowman to speak with Homeland Security investigators. Rachel Haga with the trafficking victims advocacy group Restore Course says for the victims, that's easier said than done.
It takes an enormous amount of courage to be able to recognize that your voice can change things and your voice matters and that your body matters.
She says online predators use grooming tactics to form a relationship and establish trust with their victims to manipulate them into not coming forward.
An exploiter creates this dynamic between their victim that makes them feel eventually like a participant in their own victimization. It's exceptionally complex and it's very tenuous. And then there's also the reality that our community doesn't create a lot of safe spaces for people to be vulnerable.
Haga says organizations like Restore Corps and the Memphis Child Advocacy Center exist to be there for sexploitation and trafficking victims and parents whose children have been victimized.
A lot of times people in their brokenness just need someone to sit with them and provide space to know that it's okay to not be okay.
Again, Bowman is suspected of having child sexploitation victims here in Memphis, among other cities. If you suspect your child may have had contact with Dalton Bowman, either in person or online, you're asked to call the HSI tip line at 1-877-4-HSI-TIP. Reporting live in studio, Garner Montgomery, Action News 5.